Mayor Reed presents his plan to reform employee pensions, and a multi-million-dollar park opens in the old 4th Ward. That and more next on City Talk. Hello everyone, welcome to City Talk. I'm Thermice Bevelle. Our top story, reforming the city's pension plan. City employees now have an idea of what retirement might look like. Mayor Kasim Reed presented his plan to reform employee pensions to the Finance Committee. The two-part plan has the city paying off its current pension liabilities over a 30-year period. Right now, Atlanta is only paying the interest on the unfunded pension liability. That could result in the liability almost doubling in the next 30 years. The second part of the mayor's proposal would either put all city employees into a defined contribution plan similar to a 401k in the private sector, or give employees the choice to opt into Social Security. Mayor Reed told the committee his plan is also an effort to keep existing employees on the payroll.
If we don't address this problem, there is nothing that any of us can do to prevent a continued trend of firing employees at every budget year.
A move to the defined contribution plan would save the city up to $31 million over 5 years. The final decision is now up to the Atlanta City Council. But first, the city will hold several meetings to explain the new pension proposal to employees. The administration is hoping to pass pension reform by the end of June to coincide with next year's budget. City Councilman Michael Bond honors 11 Georgia women for their contributions to racial equality. They share their story in a new civil rights history book. Hands on the Freedom Plow is about women who fought for justice during the civil rights movement. Annette White shares her experience of the 1950s and 60s, an unsettling time in American history.
There were some touching times. Each time we went out on a demonstration, we would always sing a song that said to the words to the effect that we might not ever meet again. And I think of that often, and I think of the people that I sang it with who are no longer here.
It was more than work. I am now 81 years old, and I have enjoyed the freedom. Although we're not completely free, but I was willing, my whole family was willing to take the risk. We had to take risks and believe in our heart that we all were free.
Each story tells how the struggle for equality was supported by women who kept their hands on the freedom plow. They recall a personal history of violence, voter registration, freedom rides, and the March on Washington. Councilman Bond says they put their lives on the line protesting segregation.
We wanted to make sure that we honor these women who participated in the civil rights movement. These are really the unsung heroes of that movement. You know, we can always read a lot about Dr. King or Malcolm X or Ralph Abernathy or Hosea Williams, and those are the highlights. But these are the people who were actually on the ground, in the organizations, behind the desk, and in the streets, who really made a difference. And before they're not with us, we wanted to make sure that we gave them the appropriate recognition.
The women received proclamations for their courageous efforts, and Bond believes they can serve as an example of the strength we can all use today. 11 brave women. Residents joined Councilman Ivory Lee Young Jr. for his quarterly town hall meeting, where constituents received progress reports on current plans and initiatives under consideration. The group also talked about ways to improve delivery of services, and they discussed how to enhance the quality of life in District 3 communities. The open forum gave constituents a chance to speak with top city personnel about a number of concerns.
It looked well over 100 constituents here, all of them needing to get their issues addressed and concerns resolved. We had representatives from watershed management, from public safety, and fire and police and corrections, the city solicitor's office, code compliance. It was just, it was a good night. And as we sat down and heard the concerns and issues of our constituents, they are our eyes and ears on the street. We gather the data, and then a lot of what they tell us here begins to shape our policy when we go back to the office and establish our priorities for the next few months.
This community wants to be heard, and they want us to be responsive to their needs. I really applaud Councilmember Young for bringing this group together. Citizens always respond to his call. They are here and they have concerns that we're listening to and coming up with those solutions.
The town hall meeting was an opportunity to bring city departments to the community in an effort to share information about important city issues. A new unit of the Atlanta Police Department promises more engagement with the community. APD recently rolled out its Community-Oriented Police Division, COPS for short. COPS will focus on quality of life issues like graffiti, illegal dumping, code violations, aggressive panhandling, and working with at-risk youths.
If we're going to be successful in driving crime down and improving the quality of life in our communities, we need to continue to partner with anyone and everyone that have a desire to do something positive in this city.
In 2009, the police department received a federal grant worth over $11 million to fund 50 new police officers for 3 years. They will use the money to hire new recruits and to reassign veteran officers to the Community Liaison Unit of COPS. Council members Howard Shook and Yolanda Adrian co-hosted Buckhead's first Eco Collection. The Eco Collection let Buckhead residents and businesses easily dispose of materials that are not safe for regular trash pickup.
We think our senior members have a great interest in being green and taking care of our environment. So we felt like this would be a good thing for us to participate in as a community event.
We're literally having to turn people away because we've got so many people coming to it. So fantastic event.
Councilman Shook says he hopes they can offer this service for years to come. Councilmember Cleta Winslow and volunteers teamed up again for Phase 2 of a community cleanup. They spent the day picking up trash and debris on the west side of the Pittsburgh neighborhood. This is an ongoing effort to beautify that area. Atlantans came out for the opening of the historic 4th Ward Park. The new multi-million-dollar District 2 park is the culmination of years of work by the old 4th Ward community. The park is one of 5 projects identified in the old 4th Ward Master Plan, a plan that guides the redevelopment of that neighborhood. The park was designed through a unique partnership between residents, business stakeholders, city departments, and Atlanta Beltline. The city will develop the land in phases. Phase 1 opened near a section of the Beltline just south of City Hall East.
This is something that is really changing our city. This is a transformative move, and we're excited about not only having it to happen, but also the potential for the future and the change that we're seeing occurring here in this part of Atlanta. Not only is it the park, but it's also a stormwater solution that solves the flooding problem that we've been dealing with for many, many years. And we have a new development on the books potentially to close in the next week or two, the City Hall East project in partnership with Jamestown Property. So this is something that is good for our community.
Atlanta actually does not have much parkland compared to a lot of our peer cities. Among 25 largest cities, we're pretty low, the 24th or 25th in terms of percent of our land dedicated to parks. And what you see here is really the future of what Atlanta can be. Councilmember Hall talked about how the neighborhood really got behind this plan. The neighborhood approved 5,000 new housing units in the 4th Ward, and they did it because this park was coming. And they knew that if they had this park, they could support that kind of density. And we would have that walkable community we all talk about, you know, the livable, walkable communities, environmentally sound communities, and that's what this park does.
The old 4th Ward was created in the 1870s under the city ward system. When city government moved from wards to districts, residents kept the name as a source of pride. Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport is still the world's busiest airport. Despite a decrease in business from the lagging economy, Atlanta's airport takes the top spot, followed by Beijing, with Chicago O'Hare coming in third. For the 4th year in a row, the Federal Aviation Administration says Hartsfield-Jackson leads in the number of takeoffs and landings. The City of Atlanta, the Atlanta Downtown Improvement District, and MARTA recently sponsored an Atlanta Streetcar Industry Day to bring together potential design builders and to give them an opportunity to voice any concerns they had about participating in the project. Back in October, U.S. Transportation Secretary Ray LaHood presented the city with a check for over $47 million in Tiger II funding. That money will help finance construction of the Atlanta streetcar.